First off, we're going to talk about virtual events. And somebody had put in this question saying she was going to be putting on the second virtual version of an event this summer. And she wanted to know, how can I make this virtual event fresh and overcome our supporters' virtual event fatigue? Somebody else asked, what do you recommend for an event that has become a staple in the community that we're unable to host due to restrictions? And another question, how do you deal with virtual burnout of donors and audiences? So I'm going to answer all three of those questions at the same time because they're all three asking a similar thing about virtual audiences, Zoomitis, being burnt out on events, and how do you engage them? All these questions, I would suggest finding a unique and different way to make it fun. Have a fun name and include some kind of gamification. Let everyone know that this won't be the same Zoom meeting that they've been in all week long. Be sure you design in interaction. If you're using Zoom, you can use breakout rooms, or sometimes you can just get one person, what we call on stage. You can do that by unmuting one person, two people, three people in the audience. Even in a webinar format, you can do that. See, my master's degree is in recreation therapy, and so I challenge myself to scour the internet for fun activities. So why not try using improv acting? For instance, go on TV and watch Whose Line Is It Anyway? And so get some ideas how they do that and how you may be able to incorporate that in. I love to use improv activities and to facilitate those. That is so much fun. I do that live and in person, and I do it on Zoom too. I just really enjoy brainstorming the program and the interaction. After being a speaker and trainer for many years, I do this with live audiences, and then I challenge myself virtually. Here's another question. Our organization was founded and has been sustained primarily through social fundraising experiences. Our ladies love to dress up and show off their hats and shoes. This cultural norm, combined with the fact that we are not a direct service organization, has created major creative barrier for our board and legacy donors. What are strategies for virtual engagement for those donors expecting a social experience? Well, I just attended an event where we dressed up for the event on Zoom. We danced and we sang along with the band. The after party included putting us in breakout rooms, and we changed them every 15 minutes. There were specific topics for each round. If you're going to do this, be sure and send them an event in a box so they have things like drink materials, hors d'oeuvres, and other party supplies. You could also have it as a hybrid where someone rents a restaurant or has it at their house, and depending on the requirements for safety, there could be 3 or 4 houses involved, and make it a mystery as to which house which person will go to, and then have live feeds between the locations so they can all see each other. Somebody else asked, any tips for nonprofits with a national audience regarding hybrid events? You're in a great position because not only can your national audience attend, but they can invite their local friends, which they may not have been able to do if they had to travel to your event. I'd be sure to find a way to recognize all the places that are attending. You could say hello to those of you in Ohio, and oh, I see some Michigan people out there. Oh, and what about sunny Florida? I would also encourage them to invite friends over, being safe with the local requirements, of course, and have an event on their back deck and just create a buzz. And you could do an event even after that, because I think that these ladies with their best spiffed up clothes and shoes on would tell other people how much fun they had. And then you could create themes, like you could create a tea party and have somebody on the computer screen at all the locations talking about how teas are grown or coffee. You could do a lot of really fun things with people all across the country. Another question, what virtual challenges have you seen success with? Well, in the chat box, somebody said we're having a wing contest, a chicken wing contest. They said have folks go to local restaurants to go buy wings, and they voted for their favorites by donating money to the nonprofit. $1 was a vote for them, and the restaurants donated 10% of their wing sales for a whole month to them. Somebody else asked, how do you price an online scavenger hunt? Well, there's a few different answers to that. In one person in the chat said that they had people pay to participate, and then they sent in their completed cards and they picked a winner and gave a prize. Other organizations said for scavenger hunts, they've seen organizations sell passports with a list of scavenger items. Participants uploaded their photos to Instagram and Facebook with a hashtag to win prizes. Somebody else said scavenger hunts are a great ways for sponsors to underwrite the costs and the prizes. For high-level donors, one nonprofit said they're using it as stewardship. Virtual stewardship events, she said, are harder than even a gala. They crafted a dinner in a box strategy, and the first one was extremely successful. The scavenger hunts that I've worked with, I have advised them not to charge an entry fee, but instead to do it like peer-to-peer fundraising and have people create a team. And then when they get the team involved, say, okay, can we raise $1,000? Can we raise $1,500? Do we think that we will get everything that's on the list? And then they gave weekly prizes. Somebody else asked, has anyone done an event featuring a movie at an outdoor drive-in? I think that is just a fabulous idea, because think about it. They could come to the movie and then you could have an intermission, and you could have some of your program participants come up and talk about things they've done and what your nonprofit does, and it would attract people and they could safely distance outside. So I don't know of anybody that's tried that. Maybe you can let us know if you have tried an outdoor drive-in, but I think it'd be a great idea. The question about how long should an event last, 45 minutes, an hour, longer, shorter? I have been in some that were longer than 45 minutes, and it's really hard to stay focused unless it is very interactive. So the program part of your event, you're not going to want to go over 45 minutes. That's the part where you have your participants talking, you have your executive director talking, you might have your auction. But then the gamification piece of it, that's the piece where maybe you have a musician, maybe you have a band so people can dance. Maybe you just do something really out of the ordinary. You play a game of Jeopardy. That part can make it go a little bit longer. I was in one the other day that this meeting had so much gamification in it. I couldn't believe when an hour was up. It felt like it had been like 10 minutes. So find a way to make it fun. If you're going to go over 45 minutes, that you have something built in there. But for the most part, your event itself, 45 minutes is about as long as you can keep somebody's attention.